Welcome everyone, Tico Casamayor here with the Strive305 Hub Podcast. We have a wonderful guest with us today. You're going to learn a lot from him, hoping to get you a lot of good information to all our small businesses out there. Before we get started, Miguel, I'm going to make some of my thank yous. We got to thank Mayor Levine Cava. Without her, we wouldn't have this little vehicle we have here today to show you off. I want to send a big shout out to my co-host, Irvan Augustine, who's on vacation and left me here all by myself. That's going to cost you, Irvan, so prepare yourself. I want to do a big thank you to Manny Sid. Without him, also, we wouldn't be here. So he's the one pushing this initiative of the mayors. Wells Fargo, who's the one that's provides the funds to keep that website that we have going, the Strive305hub.com website, where all the resources are. And you can find everything in there. And also thank you to the Hub at Office Logic, where we are today. We're on remote. We're not actually at our studios today. We're here remote at the Office Logic. And thank you to our producer, Allie, behind the cameras. She, again, another one that told me don't mention my name, but I don't care. I'm going to mention her name because she's the best and she's doing a great job here today. So let's get going. I want to get rolling. I want to talk about you. Tell us what you do. You're Miguel from
Falcon IT Services.
Okay, so I know about IT.
Mm-hmm.
So before I let you go, I'm going to talk like me, a business owner, because I just had some issues with IT, funny enough. So I used to do it all myself. I ran my own IT because it's hard, but I'm good at that kind of stuff. So I did it, but I got to the point, my bookkeeper, I can't get on the server. The phone's not working. Something is down. There's no internet, and it was driving me nuts. I was the IT provider, and I have to run my business, and I was losing my mind. So I went to an outsource. It's best thing ever. But then now I also have other issues because I just acquired another company, bringing them in, and I got to make a separate network for them because they want to have their own separate. So all of these crazy things that I try to take on myself, big mistake. This is why people like you exist. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's precisely it, and that's the space that we work in. Businesses they've grown and they can't get away with not having an IT anymore. And they're not big enough yet to have an IT department, because people think that just because you hire one IT person that you're going to have all your needs met. But IT is very complex, and there's a lot of domains within it. So to really be good at it, you have to have different types of talent. So that's where we come in.
Okay, but IT, I've actually seen that as well. Companies that have an IT company will put a person in there when they're big enough. One of their own staff members, people that require an in-house person.
Yeah, but that in-house person, generally what they do is they'll be there to change power supplies, do boots on the ground types of things. You still need the whole infrastructure, right? You need, for example, you need somebody that could do security, okay? Those types of people are usually very expensive. If you get one person to do that and you're paying the price, what's going to happen is he's going to be bored when he's got to go underneath the desk, change power supplies, or when people are calling him because an email didn't get through. So you need to have, when you outsource that to a service provider like ourselves, we have a security person, we have help desk personnel, we have all these different types of people that specialize in different things that you have access to. So you have a pretty big variety of IT talent that you can subscribe to.
Which is a lot cheaper than having multiple people, or trying to find what I like to call in my world, in my printing world, the unicorn, the person that can do it all. There's very little people that can do it all. And the ones that can do it all will open up their own company and do it all, and create their own company. They're not going to go and work for one person. So I get it. What else can you tell me for small business owners like myself, and who our audience is small business owners? They come here to learn. What else can you tell us that can help us that we don't realize?
Security, I think that's one of the big things that small business owners think that, they've moved their information to the cloud. They don't have to worry about security. And there's a lot of ways of doing IT, and you could get things done and they work. But like you said in your example, where they couldn't access the server, or whatever, you had a lot of problems, right? Because things were done in a way that you would get them to work, but then they weren't done the way that they should be done. So you run into all these little problems. With security, you have the same issue, right? Where you could get something relatively well secured, but unless it's done by a professional, you can expose yourself. And you can expose all the information that you have within your network that may belong to other people that also may be affected by it.
Yeah, and I've seen situations where people have gotten hacked and then blackmailed to get their information, to get it back, to get the release. They lock them up, steal their information, and then they blackmail them to get it back, and you have no choice but to pay sometimes.
Yeah, that's the playbook for a lot of hackers. They get into your network, they start exfiltrating data. They're in there for sometimes weeks, days,
Yeah,
weeks,
you don't
months.
notice that.
They're taking information. Once they've gotten everything that they could take from you, then they hit that button and encrypt everything, and then you're locked out. And then it's called a double extortion, where they're not only pressuring you to pay them to get unlocked, but if you don't pay them, they threaten with releasing that information out there. And even if you pay them, there's really no guarantee. The FBI, CISA, and other government agencies just tell you don't pay them, because there's no guarantee that they're really gonna not publish that information after they've been paid.
Right, and it happens to anybody. People usually think, oh no, this only happens to big companies, but this happens to small companies. I imagine you've experienced this with clients that you've had to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It could happen to even individuals, home users. You still have in your computer, you may have your wedding photos, you may have things that are value. They're not going to charge you, millions of dollars like they would a large business, but they could still get you for $1,000, $2,000, whatever they think that information is worth. And even if you don't have anything of value, your computer, your home network, your router, all those things are of value to them, because then you could become part of what's called a botnet. They hack into your systems, and then they use that system to hack into other systems as a way of kind of avoiding to get traced back to the origin, or in what's called a denial of service attack, where they have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of compromised devices at their disposal, right? It's like having a big army to go out there and do damage to people that are not willing to do what they want.
Wow, how do you stop them? What do you do? Like, I know it's detailed, but just a little bit. How is it that you guys protect?
One of the most effective ways is to have what's called cybersecurity hygiene and cybersecurity awareness. And a lot of people think that it's up to somebody else, it's up to their service provider, it's up to their antivirus. But I think that every individual should have a level of awareness of how they can get hacked and how they can become a victim. And the more you learn about that, the less likely it is that it's going to happen to you. That is just one of there's a lot of things that you could do, but that's one of the least. It's actually mostly free. You could do your own, research online. You can go to YouTube videos, but it's one of the better things that you could do.
Excellent. And you mentioned earlier something about storms and storm protection, or?
Oh yes, we're getting into hurricane season.
Right.
So a lot of people ask me about that. What should I do if there's a hurricane coming? That's a really big open-ended question. I think we probably need a whole other podcast for that. But in general, secure your data. Make sure you have backups. Make sure you have backups off-site. And if the storm does come to Miami, take your computers, lift them up off the ground in case there's flooding. You don't get your computers, wet. Unplug them from the wall.
During
you don't
the
want
storms, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the place to get flooded, and the computers to get wet, and then the power comes back on, and you have potentially an electrical problem or a fire hazard. Obviously, I think I said already, make sure that you have whatever data you have offsite, and you should have a disaster recovery and contingency plan. Like if there's a hurricane, you still need to. You still want to be productive. You still want to do things. Your clients may still be calling you, depending on the business that you have. Maybe your plan might be to send your employees to a hotel, get them on a VPN, get them access to a laptop so that they can have a skeleton crew that you could continue to operate if your building is out of electricity for a week or 2 weeks or whatever time.
Yes, and I've actually dealt with that before, thought about that before, where at the time that I did years ago, I was going to do that. I go off-site, but it was so expensive to get outside cloud. I know that's different now. But as a business owner, you're running your business, so you don't think about these things. So it's important that people know that they're listening, and that that you think, because it's not that big a deal to get a cloud service now, correct? And have your server backed up off-site. Because what I did for many years is back it up on-site. I had a secondary server right there, and I just backed up myself. But then one day I think, what if there's a fire and the whole place goes down? Because I always said, well, I have the backup. I grab the server, I'll go to another location, and I'm up and running in no time, with a couple computers. But then you have the issue fire, or if the whole network goes down there and it takes out both of them. So the cloud-based protection is very important. Yes, agreed.
What? Yeah, that's also a big question. to handle. Definitely, having your information in the cloud is going to minimize the disruption because these data centers are a lot better built than probably somebody's office building.
Mm-hmm.
They do have backup generators. It's not to say that something can't happen, right? There's a case of a large data center called OVH in Europe that went up in smoke. Two buildings burnt down. It started from a battery fire, and everything in there got charred. And ironically, the people that were doing backups were either backing up to another system within the same system, or within the same data center,
Mm-hmm.
or they thought we don't need backups because this organization is backing up for me. And so that's all part of your contingency planning. And within that, you should also look at your processes, right? So like, for example, you're a printing press. You might have different processes. You might have your customers, you might have your emails, but then you have your printers that are actually doing the printing.
Mm-hmm.
And those are physical things that are in a building that you can't move to the cloud. So it's not just a easy matter of let's put it in the cloud. It's a matter of looking at all the different processes that make your business run and having a contingency plan for each.
Yeah. It's crazy. It gives you mental fog.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's
the
why
point-
we're here. We're
That was going to be
here
my
to
point.
help you to make sure that you look at all those fine points and not miss anything.
Yeah, that was the point of my comment of it's being a mental fog. Don't even bother trying to figure it out. Don't go crazy. Get a Falcon company to come in, show them what you lay out, what you have. This is what we have, and let them tell you what you need to do. It's cheaper in the long run, and it's when we also do websites, for example, right? We develop websites. We have a website division, and it happens all the time where the client's like, no, it's okay. I'll get a host to host it myself, or I'll take care of it. Then they call us 3 months later. My website got hacked, and it's gone. I go, okay. Do you have your backup? Well, backup. I didn't know I should have a backup. Yes, if you could pay, or the service that's hosting you, you do a backup. So all you got to do is replace the website. Oh, now they have to rebuild the whole thing. It's the same thing. Use your providers. Let them tell you what to do. People like you, and be safe. It's it's one of those things that you don't suffer until it happens.
Yeah.
So if you protect it, it's the best feeling in the world. It's happened to me. I got my laptop stolen, but I have it backed up on the cloud. All I do is buy another one, hit a button, let it reload, and it's up and running. It wasn't even me. It was the IT company that did it for me. And so it's very important. I'm glad that you came on, because that kind of information for small business owners, again, you don't think, because there's so many things you got to worry about. We got to worry about banking, financing, this, and my emails, and the hacking of my emails, and it's so much that hiring a company like this makes all the difference in the world and saves you money in the long run, and will save you headache, because nowadays it's happening all the time. The hacks, the lightning strikes, especially in Florida, all that. I've lost computers, refrigerators, TVs because of lightning strikes. So yeah, it's super important. All right, thank you very much for being here. My producer over there, did you see her? She's giving me
yeah, thank you for having me.
She's giving me middle fingers because we're taking too long, and she wants to go eat. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Miguel, for being. Thank you, Ali. Thank you to everybody. Strive305hub.com.